Hi guys, and welcome back to K-Tapes. This week I have about 15 tapes I want to show you. I've been quite happy with what I've been able to get recently, although the only thing I haven't been happy about is the money that I spent. But anyway, that's part of the process with collecting anything. You spend money, sometimes you don't have it, sometimes you have it, but as long as you're happy with what you get, that is what is the most important, I think. That said, 15 tapes, yes, and actually, you know what, there's maybe about 30 if not 40 more, but that's gonna come up in another video. But for today I want to focus on, I was gonna say another word but for today I want to focus on only the post-2006 releases, since I got those aside and they're all clean. So let's get into it. So first one off is a French film by the director of Amélie, Amélie Poulain, if you're familiar with the French film. That was released around 2000-2001, if I remember. A very, very popular French film. I mean, it's practically the embodiment of France, of French culture, of French. Everything is in that film. It's maybe too French for its own good, but it's a great film. Anyway, Amélie Poulain, if you haven't seen it, it's just called Amélie in English. You should watch it. But the reason I brought this film up is because this one is by the same director, and it's the film that he made right after Amélie. And in French, it's called Un long dimanche de fiançailles, but the title in English, right here, if my camera can focus, is called A Very Long Engagement. I've never seen it, so I'm not going to be able to talk about it very much, but I believe I mean, it got like really good reviews, so that's why. And by the way, I kind of cheat because right here, this film is not 2006. It's actually, I think it's very late 2005. So I kind of put it in there. Yeah, you see, it's July, or is that August? I'm always having like trouble with the English way of putting the dates. Like it's never like logic to me. Anyway, 2005, yeah, let's say August or July 2005. So for this one, yeah, so it's not a post-2006 release, and I do believe it had an American release for that on VHS. So this is not the very first, or I mean, a unique VHS you would find. Although what's really great about it is that the cover is really different from the American release, and also I think it's much better. I mean, this one is much better than the American release. Is it in great shape? Yeah, it's pretty much in pretty much top shape. It may have a bit of sun fade, but it's barely noticeable, and the tape is also very clean, as you can see. Original Warner clamshell that goes with it. Very good, it's very complete. Okay, so that was our first one. So let's move on to the second one. I think the next 4 or 5 are tapes that you've seen before. Actually, no, you know what? There's going to be like another one that you've seen before. So that's why I'm going to go a bit quicker with these, and this is not going to be a long video, although I always say it's not going to be a long video and it ends up being a long one. But no, I don't think it's going to be a long video today. But the next one is, of course, Shrek the Third, or Shrek 3. I showed you this one. I was going to say I've seen this one before, but I showed you this one before. Although the copy I showed you was the original English speaking copy with Korean subtitles. Although this one, if you look on the spine right here, this is where you always have the information about the language. And the first one here is like Uri Maul, which means our language, which is Korean. So it means it's in Korean. So it's a dub, it's not the English version. And of course, as usual, the thing with those films, which are the animation and the kids films, they're very likely to be dubbed. Some versions came out with their original language version, I mean in English, but it's not all the films. Some of them, like especially like the later releases, the ones that are 2009, 2010, tend to be only dubbed in Korean. This one, Shrek 3, let me check, it's 2007, and yet indeed this one has an English version for it. I had it once. I did find it again. When I bought this one, I did find it in English, although the spine was super sun faded and I was like, nah, it's not a good looking copy. And this one was like pristine, was pretty good, no sun fade, so that's why I picked this one up. Okay, next we have another film that I think never came out in North America, although maybe as a screener that I've been told of, but not as a like official release, is Ice Age 2. And by the way, you know there's an Ice Age 3 that came out in South Korea as well, which is also quite now a bit hard to find, although the second one is also not super easy to find. And the great thing about this one, and again that's why I picked it up, is because let me show you again on the spine right here. This means it's the original language subtitled in Korean. So this is the English version, and of course it's NTSC, which makes it like playable, of course, in any North American VCR players. So that's a great thing with Korean tapes, just like the Japanese tapes. If you buy them here from me, you can all play them on your VCRs back home. There's no issue with the signal or whatnot, like you would have, for example, if you buy like a tape from Europe, which would be in PAL, but these are all NTSC and they all work in North American VCRs. So there you go. This is Ice Age 2, released in South Korea. Let's just take a look at the date at the bottom. Yeah, that's 2006. You see right here. Again, terrible with the date. Could be March, could be February, but it's very early 2006. So right when North America stopped making VHS tapes. So that's one of the first one that's only been released in South Korea and some other countries. Okay, next is something I had before. I was super pleased to be able to find another copy because this is one of the last animation movies that came out in South Korea, and pretty much I would say, I mean, again, I don't know 100% for sure because no one ever came up with you know, like another example of other late releases in the world, like that late, because this, we're talking here about late 2009. Let me just focus, sorry. So yeah, October 2009. So October 2009, that is among the very last animations, not the very last movies, because as you know, the VHS tapes were up until late December 2010, but the animation films, this was among one of the very last animation films to ever come out in Korea, and therefore, like I said, probably in the world. So that would make it one of the last animation ever released on tape in the world. So you have it right there, Monsters vs. Aliens. Oh, and by the way, the copy is super clean. I kind of didn't show you, but look at this. Super nice spine, the back, everything is like bright colors, beautiful, gorgeous copy. And again, like I said, you can tell right here, it's Urimaul, which is our language. In Korean, it's a dub. I do not think, by the way, I've never found an English copy of this, and I do not believe that it exists. It's probably only came out dubbed in Korean. Okay, next, another one that I had in the past. Actually, I do have like maybe 2 copies in stock, but they're getting hard to find, especially in good condition. And this one is in good condition. It's, of course, Star Wars Episode 3. Well, you know, there's a cult following for Star Wars for sure. It's huge. So, of course, if I do find a nice copy, and this one is, look at this, it's beautiful, it's sparkling, it looks nice. Yeah, if I do find a good copy of this, I'll pick it up. So yeah, this one doesn't have any sun fade or barely any on the spine. It's great, gorgeous, has the little 20th Century Fox little hologram there. So yeah, that's cool. Official. So yeah, in NTSC I know there's this copy. Of course there's a Japanese copy. What else? There's probably like a few other countries that released it, but this is in NTSC in English with some, of course, Korean subtitles. Copy is beautiful and it's, of course, up for grabs. Okay, the last movie I have for you today that I already showed you in the past is, of course, Transformers. The second one is hard to find now. I think I only found one copy ever. Sold it about a year ago. I did find maybe 2 or 3, including this one, of the first film. It's not like crazy rare yet, but I do pick it up whenever I see a very nice copy. This one is not like amazing, but I was quite surprised to find one, so I picked it up. Has a bit of sun fade, as you can see, the pink, and here is red. The blue doesn't show much because it's harder to fade, I guess. And the whole spine is black, so it really doesn't matter. Like you have to really know your your spines in your movies to be able to notice it. But anyway, yeah, I'm telling you, it has a bit of sun fade. Otherwise, it's in great shape. The tape is clean as well. This is a fun release. I mean, again, it's another October 2007 released film. There you go. It's super clean. So yeah. Okay, let's move on. The next movie, it's the first time I got it. I got this, by the way, when I bought a couple of things, and it came with my my order. Not something I was looking for, to be honest, but since it was in my order, I just left it there. It's the movie 21. Yeah, I've never seen it, so I can't really talk about it. But the copy is really clean, no sun fade whatsoever. So I think that was a great pickup once again. And this film is let's see, I think it's 2008. 2008, again, October 2008. So October 2008. Well, I mean, it's getting up near the end, and it's a Sony release. Once again, I'll just show you the tape. Super clean, beautiful as usual. Okay, all right, next film we have 300. Someone I know has a copy or two, or maybe even more copies. He told me he got like plenty of them that he sold on eBay. Personally, I saw this film like a whole bunch of times on shelves. I never picked it up, and now that I kind of looked for post 2006 tapes, I kind of never saw this one surface again. I don't know why. Maybe it's just me. I wasn't very lucky. The guy I know was more lucky than I was, but I happened to find one copy. So you know what? I picked it up. This is the first time I own it. It's in decent shape. I mean, there's no sun fade, nothing. It looks great. No, I mean, how do you call it? Water. I was gonna say water damage or whatnot. It's in top shape, great shape. So there you go, man. 300, and this was released 2007, I think. I'm a bit forgetful about these things. 2007, yeah, around July. Yeah, July. Oh, there you go. So it's month and then day. So July 13, 2007. Cool release, really cool. And of course, this never came out in North America, and this copy is in English with, of course, Korean subtitles. Okay, so now we have a couple more to go. Let's see, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 more. Okay, one more movie I showed you before. It's Wall-E. Although the copy, I think I showed you one copy before that was in English. Maybe not. Although I know this movie exists in English, but this is a dub. It's dubbed in Korean, of course. As you can see right here again, it says in Korean. So yeah, and this film is not very easy to find these days. I guess because it's a Disney movie, Pixar, and the film, I think, again, I've never seen it. It's not, I mean, I'm not super interested in those films, but I think it was really well received, and that's another reason why whenever it's out there on tapes, people will just pick it up. So yeah, it's not very easy to find, to be honest. So I was really happy to pick this one up. Also because the spine is very beautiful. It's, again, no sun fade or barely any. I mean, the red is practically the same, although it looks a little bit lighter here than on the front cover, but the green does look like the exact same green, and the blue is blue. So yeah, I mean, it's a beautiful copy, let's face it. And again, let's just have a look inside. There you go. This is the tape. Fantastic. Okay. Oh, and by the way, this one is already sold, so I need to put it aside because I may send it in the next few days, if not tomorrow. Okay, next we have yet another one I showed you before, so I'm not going to spend too much time on this. This is Open Season. I had it, I think, was it like a few weeks ago? I think it was in the last video. And I sold it, so I did find another copy. This one has some sun fade. I don't like that, but I mean, it's one movie that is kind of in demand, and before all the copies I ever seen vanish, because all the places I usually go for these tapes, they don't have any more of this stuff. I really kind of grab everything else I found in the wild and on some websites that were still available. Now it's like there's nothing else, so I picked it up before they're all gone. And once again, it's in great shape, other than, of course, the sun fade on the spine, but I mean, otherwise it's in great shape. And again, speaking of Open Season, well, we have Open Season 2, which is, this one is, by the way, is much rarer than Open Season 1. Open Season 1, I was able to find it a few times. I think when I actually bought mine, there was another one, but it was totally trashed. That's just why I didn't pick it up. But Open Season 1, I think I've seen it overall in the past 2 years, maybe 4 or 5 times. But Open Season 2, I think I've seen it only once or twice, and by twice I mean this would be the second copy I see, not that I bought, but this is the first copy I bought, simply because I at first I was just going with what people asked me for, and I didn't really care about picking up the other stuff. But no one really asked me about Open Season 2. Again, I'm not into those films. What I'm just guessing is the first movie was great and the second and third movie were maybe not really good, so no one cared about them. But I felt the urge to just pick it up no matter what, because it's rare. So there you have it. I'm just going to show you the back, if it's tempting to you, if it's something you feel like you would like to buy. And another incentive right here is, of course, the release date, which is always important. So 2009 so April 2009. Which is a late release, let's face it, and that's the other reason why I picked it up. And also, there's no sun fade, or barely any that I actually notice. Nothing noticeable of any sun fade. So beautiful release. And whoops! Once again, look at this tape. It's really cool. It has like that green and yellow kitty, I don't know, kids colors, and yeah, Sony logo on the tab, because it is a Sony release. So yeah, Open Season 2. Okay, next one, another movie. I don't know, I think I would say back 7 years ago, I think I came across a couple of those, and I never really cared about picking them up. Although now, because of I wouldn't say not the movie, but I think they have like some movies coming out, but especially with the game. And if you know what I'm talking about the Hogwarts game that is super popular these days. So I'm talking, of course, about the Harry Potter films. This is Harry Potter, I'm just going to go with the number, but Harry Potter 5. Of course, there's a Harry Potter 6 that also came out in South Korea, and I think in North America you only had, I mean you guys only had 1, 2, 3, perhaps even 4, or 4 was in some other regions, some other countries like Australia. Not sure in North America, but 5 is definitely something probably no other countries had except South Korea, again, unless I'm proven wrong. And of course number 6 is even more rare because that one was late 2009, I believe. This one is let me check, I totally forgot. It's, can I zoom in? Yeah, 2007. Well, it's December 2007. December 2007, so I mean 2007, 2008, it's very late. So this one also is quite a good thing to have if you don't, because the Harry Potter are going back into popularity these days, again because of the great game that got like really good reviews. So the only thing here, okay, where I picked this up, it had like other Harry Potter tapes, of course 1, 2, 3, 4. I only picked up 5 because I knew it was quite rare. I think there were like other there was only one other copy, although like I mean one other tape, because it comes on 2 tapes, and the other tape was also like sun faded. Like as you can see, this one, I mean, it's not really apparent. If you look, the Warner Brother here isn't sun faded, here it is. And also if you look right here, this is proper green and this is more like faded blue, and the red is slightly also pinkish on this one. So it's on 2 tapes, and well, thankfully it's only the spine. The front is fine on both, and the back is also fine on both. The only thing also with, as I told you maybe before, is with the double tapes. Usually they come up with just the same design on both tapes, and they would just put like part 1, part 2 here, and that's it. And that's what they did with this one. I think from memory, the only tape that has 2 cassettes and that it has a different cover for, I mean, the 2 parts, and even like a different sticker on the cassette for the 2 parts, is The Dark Knight. I cannot think of any other movies that did, you know, had 2 different visuals for the 2 cassettes. So anyway, just saying. So there you have it, Harry Potter 5, or as they put it here, year 5. So you also have, like I said, year 6, but this one is kind of a bit hard to find these days. So let me just show you the spine so you can have a good look at the sun fade in case you're interested in this one. There you go. With the Korean Video Association thing sticker here. It's pretty fun. Okay. All right, so we're down to the 3 last ones. All right, so the first one we have, before we're done, we have Underworld, Rise of the Lycans. I think this is Underworld Part 3. And from memory, again, this is the last one that was released on VHS tapes, because I think Part 4 was 2012 or something like that. So of course there were no videotapes at the time. So this is the very last one. Anyway, and it has a really cool cover. I gotta admit, it's really fun. It's really nice. Cool design from Sony. My box is a little bit like beat up, but the sleeve and everything is clean. As you can see, there's no sun fade as well. It's a beautiful copy. And here is the back. Let me just show you a bit closer. There you go. And also at the very bottom right here, you see you have 2009-11. So the very end of 2009. So it's almost a 2010 tape. So yeah, this is really cool to have. And also getting quite hard to find. And I did pay a bit much for this one because, yeah, where I got it, the seller was a bit greedy. I mean, can blame people sometimes, but yeah, I mean, for this stuff in Korea, usually I'm kind of, come on, it's a late release. People don't care about this stuff here. I do, you guys do, but in Korea, people usually don't care, and it pisses me off when I have to pay too much for these. It's kind of like, come on. But it is what it is. Anyway, the important thing is I did get it. I did get it for the collection. I did get it for you guys if you want it. So yeah, that's the most important part. The next one, we have Alvin and the Chipmunks, and this is the first film. It's in top shape as well, no sun fade, beautiful copy. Here you go. Let me just zoom in for you. And it is in Korean, by the way. It's a dub, even though it's a live action. So this is a little bit different, because usually what we have dub are animation, but this one has animation in it, but it is a live action film with, of course, animation, like CGI squirrels in it. But if you look on the spine, it is a oh, actually, wait, is it? That's Korean. No, I'm doubting of. Oh yeah, no, it is in Korean. Sorry, right here. So this is dubbed in Korean. So Alvin and the Chipmunks, and let me show you the tape inside, which is beautiful. No sun fade. Of course, no sun fade. It's in the clamshell. I mean, no mold or whatnot. I cleaned it up. I'm not gonna lie, there was a tiny bit of mold, which is kind of, come on, like, it's not a late film. I mean, if we look at the date right here, 2008, April 14, 2008, and there was a bit of mold. I mean, it's kind of, but it's all clean and it plays flawlessly, so there we go. And to finish, what better not to have than Alvin and the Chipmunks Part 2. And what's so special about this one that I'm going to tell you is, I was going to say it's the last animation, but it's not. The last animation would be Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs. Again, sorry, I'm not into those animation films. I'm too old for this stuff. But that film would actually be the last animation film ever released in Korea, and therefore probably in the world. And with Alvin and the Chipmunks Part 2, that would make it, I think, the very last kids movie ever released in South Korea, and therefore in the world. So take a good look at it, because this is rare, and where I picked it up, I had to pay a bit more. Again, it is what it is, but I'm very, very happy to own it. And also even more happy that it's unfaded. It's clean. Again, I know you'd say, hey, come on, it's a 2010 release. It needs to be clean. It needs to be no sun fade. But in Korea, like I said, it's a different ball game. People sometimes don't care about these things, and they're not kept in good shape. Actually, it arrived here and it was like dusty. I mean, even the seller didn't, just clean the cover off. Come on. So I cleaned up everything. So yeah. It does look gorgeous now. Okay, I'm gonna stop complaining, because my videos are not about complaining, but they're about like showing you those rare tapes. So there you have it, Alvin and the Chipmunks Part 2. A couple of cool little screenshots here. Never seen the film, don't know if it's any good or not. Right here, 2010. April 16th, so mid-April 2010. That would make it the very last kids movie ever released on VHS tapes, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And a fun thing here also, I'm gonna zoom in for you. You see it says like 27,500, which is 27,500 won, which means 27,500 won, which was the price that it was sold to video stores back in the days when, if they wanted to have this in their shop for rental. So it was about 27,500 would be nowadays, with the exchange rate, I would say maybe $23, maybe. So about $23, but back then with the exchange rate, maybe it was more like $25. So that's the price the video stores had to pay to have that in 2010 in their video stores for rental, but most video stores would only get probably the DVD. They wouldn't care about the tape. So that's why this videotape is actually quite rare, and I'm super happy to have picked it up. Regardless of the price that I paid, I mean, I was really happy. But of course it is for sale. I know someone who probably wants it now. I'm just gonna confirm with that person if she wants it. If not, I'll let you know. I mean, you can text me, I'll tell you if it's still up for grab or not. It's not going to be cheap. I'm going to be straight up with you, because this is the very last very last kids movie ever released. So the other like movies I would do that, like put higher prices, obviously would be Avatar, like I said before, or Inception, or even maybe the last Korean film ever released, because that would be the world last videotape ever released. But I have yet to find this tape. I know what it is, but I haven't found it yet. So anyway, let's wrap it up, because it's already been half an hour. So I'm just gonna show you everything I got today, all lined up, all the spines, so you can take a good look at those gorgeous Korean tapes, which are slowly going off the market as people are picking them up or they're being thrown away. So where should I put this? Oh, right here. There you go. I'm making a mess. Okay, all right. So these are the tapes for today. I hope you enjoyed the video, guys. I'm trying to buy more stuff. Of course, everything is, you know, it's a vicious circle, right? I buy cool stuff, or I try to find cool stuff. I sell, I get some money, I'm happy. Therefore, I can use that money or part of it and reinvest it in more tapes. But as of now, I have so many tapes, you have no idea. So I really need to be able to sell some of them. I'm just gonna pan out a little bit just to show you how much stuff I have lying around. So these, I'm still cleaning this stuff. It's not clean yet. Yeah, and the other tapes you see right there piled up, those are all cleaned up. They're all ready, and they will probably be mostly featured in my next video. And the boxes you see, I mean, there's like boxes, I'm not going to show you my place, but all the boxes in there are previous videos that I filmed and stuff that I haven't sold yet. But and I'm not thinking that I'm going to sell them in a heartbeat, but I'm sitting on this stuff because there's a lot of rare tapes in there. But these are all things anyway. So that was the video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Like the 2006, 2010 late releases, a couple ones that perhaps I've never showed you before, and a bunch that I had before, but I'm just, you know, showing you what I got back in stock. So thank you everyone. Give it a like, post a comment if there's anything you want to know, you want to comment about. It's always cool to read your comments. It's fun to have the channel a bit more lively, and I'll catch you up on the next one. Thank you.